Hello, this is Compound Interest Stock Guy, and I'm going to do this video based on mining in the metals, precious metals, and copper and nickel, and I might talk about uranium, so stay tuned. This will be a part 1 series. I'm doing this because Coral Blue, she was asking me a few hours ago if I wanted to talk about some of these kind of companies. So I will. I'm just driving back to where work is. I just have my days off. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit that bell down below so you're notified when I upload a video. Give me a thumbs up, I do truly appreciate it. I also want to disclose I'm not a financial advisor. This is just for entertainment information purposes. Do not buy or sell based on anything I talk about in this video. So okay, so before I get into this video, I just want to say that the companies that I own, I'm not really saying that they're definitely a buy as far as to invest in those companies, right? I invested in those companies a while ago, and I just still have the shares, and you know, maybe I'm down in my positions and I just didn't want to sell yet, right? So it's basically where I sold a half of my position in the money, and then I keep my position. So anyways, I'll talk about the companies that I'm invested into with metals. So probably the most highly prolific one is probably Garibaldi, and that's GGI. And so what they're doing is their exploration in northern BC. And okay, so what people are trying to fixate on is that they're compared to Voisey Bay. Okay, so Voisey Bay was mined, and they found 100-meter cores of 4%, and then 2%, like 4% nickel and 2% copper. And so basically people were super pumped on that, right? Those are really high grades, and then eventually they were big bought by some big companies. It was like Falcon and Tecaminco bought 10% in another company, so they sold for $4.6 billion. Because they had like 150 million meter cores, so that's really long cores, right? Usually when they find cores, it's like 4 meters or 2 meters, and it's not at those grades. Or they find 10 meters and it's like 1% nickel, 1% copper. But to find a 100-meter core, that's really you know, it's very massive sulfides, and it's a big core position. So GGI, they try to compare it to, and they've already found 16 meters of cores of like 7.5 nickel, 4% copper, somewhere around that range. And they have some type of core that's, I think it was like 25 meter, but they haven't had the assay results. So what people need to compare that to is basically, you gotta look at they were sold in 95, so you gotta look at the prices of nickel and copper back in those days. So now nickel's around $8, and back in the day it was around like $4 or $3, right? So it's over 2 times, and then it's about 2 times the percentage, right, of the sulfide grades. So when you're doing your mathematications and try to compare, now they need to find more. Like if they were to find a lot more 25-meter cores, and it's very massively shorted. So Eric Sprott's invested in that company, and all the warrants they've been exercised up to 415. So there's been a lot of money added to the purses in GGI. I own 1,000 shares. I'm not in the money yet. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I like, if it goes to $4 and I'll be in the money because I bought them around $3, then I may sell it at $4, or I may try to wait to get like $5 or $6. I mean, very well, it's around like 100 million shares. If they do get bought out, then it very well could hit maybe, you know, $20 or $30 or $40, right? But I'm not sure when it's gonna happen. It may be like a couple of years, so maybe I'd buy it back in a year when it's lower in the before the expiration season. So maybe I'd be able to get it at like $1.50, and then I sold it at $4. So I'm just kind of playing it from that, and I'm just kind of sick of being in the position. Another company I'm investing into is NCX, and it's North Island Copper and Gold, and they have a lot of copper, but it's not at really high grades. Now, Freeport McMoRan has invested into them, so that's kind of why I invested into them, as well as I heard about them when I was living on Vancouver Island. I'm not in the money in that position. It's very low volume, so you know, I was trading around like 6.5 cents. Now, if they were to get like 100,000 or 200,000 shares traded, it would probably double or triple, right? It's very low volume, so I bought it in the teens, so I'm not in the money in that position. I spent about $200 or $300 on my position. I think I'm not sure, I had like 2,000 or 1,500 shares. Not a big position. I think it's maybe 3,000 shares, so maybe like $400 or something like that. That's my position. I have a much bigger position in GGI. Another company I'm invested into as well is Share It. And my position, I'm still not in the green with that, and that's I own 2,000 shares at around 42 cents, and that's a big nickel company, but they have a lot of debt, so that's kind of holding them down. Plus the price of nickel's got to explode a lot higher, go to 25,000 per ton in Britain dollars. So something like that would really bring the price up. I mean, it very well could double, triple, or quadruple at that price point when the thing starts going up a lot. You know, I'm not gonna buy any more shares, but you know, I still feel fairly confident in my position, making money on it. It's been trading around anywhere from like 27.5 cents to around 33 cents for the last while. It went down to about 17 to 20 cents back a while ago before the nickel prices has exploded. Now, what I do when I'm looking at this, when I'm looking at you know, buying, is I look at investing.com, and you go to commodities and you look at the metals section, and you can look at all the prices. And you could go from like a daily chart, you could do a weekly chart, and go look at the candlesticks, and then you can kind of see the price, you know, the price trends in the commodities. So that's kind of what I do. I have a long approach with those, all those stocks I've held for fairly a long time. Not a big position in all those. Now those are kind of those are my stocks that I own, right? Now, as far as if you want to play a safer approach, I would say invest into something for copper, something such as, you know, Freeport McMoRan, and on the NYSE, that's FCX, and I'm not sure what it is on the TSX, or if they are in the TSX, but that has a very nice low PE ratio and has a dividend. So say you bought like 1,000 shares, I mean, maybe $1,000 or something like that, you would get back, because it's got about a 2% dividend, so you'd get $20 back per year. Now, say you have $10,000, you get $200. So, yeah, I think Freeport McMoRan is a pretty safe bet. They've been around a long time. Another company, if you're looking for nickel, is Vale, and they're pretty low. I don't own any positions. I've looked at getting call options on all those stocks on Freeport and Vale, but I just haven't really seen a position where it set me up, where I feel confident in doing it. Now, if I'm looking into what else? Into, you know, First Quantum, I'm not sure what that is. I think it's like F something. And that's a good company too. I made money, and they're kind of broad as far as what they kind of deal with in metals, and that's a very big player. Another one is Ivanhoe Mines, and that's mainly like platinum, and that's IVN, and I think they have nickel and some other things, but I'm not certain. I haven't done extensive research, but I'm just putting out some names that are gonna trade a little more you know, more like steady. They're not going to go up as much as the ones I hold. Another one would be First Majestic if you're looking for a silver company, but I don't like them as much as FVI for silver. I like Fortuna Silver. I think they're a better player. They got a lower PE ratio. I just like the way they're trading. You know, it looks into my eyes. It sets up into my eyes. What else? I'm just gonna end this off. This is part 1 of my series. I'm doing this for Coral Blue. I'm just talking about commodity companies. I'll get into it in my next series. I'll talk about gold and silver. I'll also talk about uranium, and I'll talk about a few different companies I haven't really got into. But stay tuned. Keep compounding that info, listening to my lingo. Give me thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. And until next time, peace.